Now, Craig, we need to talk some NFL rapid fire. 5 games in 5-ish minutes. But first, let's not forget everyone. Hey, everyone, don't forget to check out our sponsor this month, BetMGM. Head over to BetMGM. Get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Your first risk-free bet by using my promo code MearsPNP. To get 2 free picks on a weekly basis, all you have to do is text your full name to the number listed below, 614-810-7522. It's so easy. It almost seems like there should be a scam, but we're not here to scam anybody. You just receive your 2 free picks.
Free.
It's really easy to do. It's so fun. It's free. Everybody likes free stuff, and you don't get a lot of it in this world. So go ahead and do that right below. Now, we've got some NFL rapid fire. The Seattle Seahawks at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers favored at -3. Tom Brady looked a little bit like Tom Brady on that final drive last week. The total at this game, 50.5. But are Brady and the Bucs actually back against Geno Smith and his Seahawks?
Well, let's be clear. This isn't at the Bucs. This is in Germany. So Lenny screwed up. This is that 9:30. I think it's
Weird
9:30
Munich game. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's not at the Bucs. So you're getting 3. You say as a home favorite, you get 3 points. So really, if this was at Tampa, they were saying that Tampa Bay would be favored by 6. I would be all over Seattle if it was 6, to be very honest.
Yeah.
But I think you have to look at Tampa Bay and you have to say they're going to get better on offense. They have to. They're terrible on the offensive line, but their running game hasn't been what we expected. But the one thing this team can rely on, Hannah, is their defense. And that defense, I think, will turn over Geno Smith. He really hasn't had a ton of turnovers this year, which is really what set him back early when he was with the Jets, remember. Let's take Tampa Bay. I think they get the turnovers this week. Tampa Bay -3. I'm not going crazy on this game just because Seattle has been so good against the spread.
Yeah.
And they won me so much money. So sometimes you just don't want to jump off those teams that have been so good for you.
Seattle's like that secret team this year that's just been good. And it's been hard to go against them in situations because they're astonishing to everybody at this point. No one would have guessed this. But all right, Craig likes the Bucs at -3 over in Germany. Let's see your next game. Vikings at Bills. Bills without Josh Allen, favored at -4.5, total at 45. I'm interested to see if any of these lines shift closer to game time. But right now, where this is in a Vikings team that's been pretty solid this season, what do you like?
Well, I'm not 100% sure that Josh Allen's going to be out. Have you seen that? I haven't.
I've seen it. So I did see a couple tweets that are like alluding to it, but I don't think anyone said it.
I think it's 50-50 if he plays or not. I think if he's not playing, if they announce he's not playing,
day to day.
There you go. I think it'll drop 3 points. I think the Bills will be favored by 1.5 to 1. But I like the Vikings either way. I just think this is a Bills team that will win if Josh Allen plays, in my opinion. But I think it's going to be extremely close. I think this Bills their problem not being able to run the ball, where you got to use Josh Allen to run the ball effectively, I think is a bad solution going forward. Just asking for troubles, even if his elbow is good enough to play in this one. This is a Minnesota team that, if they just avoid turnovers, if Kirk Cousins just avoids turnovers, and it's not a primetime game because Kirk Cousins at primetime is terrible. But when he avoids turnovers, this team is good on defense. They can run the ball. They can pass the ball. They can do a little bit of everything. I think they're actually the more well-rounded team, even though maybe Buffalo has a higher upside. Let's take the Vikings here plus 4.5. If this does go down to +1 without Josh Allen, I'm still taking the Vikings at that number as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet as well. I kind of like the Vikings in this one. I like what they've got going on. I like the word you used, well-rounded. I think that's what their strength has been so far this season. All right, the next game.
What did Kirk Cousins do? Look.
Yeah, he's got the chains going on. He's got the dance moves. There's a certain swagger, and the guys are rallying around that. And there's some young guys on the team that.
And he beat his former team. That was, I'm sure meant a lot for him that he beat a team that wouldn't give him the big contract. So
yeah, there's some really funny memes going around about him right now. So I suggest after Picks and Parlays Power Hour and after doing all of our promos, head over to Twitter and just search Kirk Cousins. All right, Saints favored -2.5 in Pittsburgh. My Pittsburgh Steelers now. I don't know how I feel about this one. The total at 40.5 as well, but I kind of like the Steelers in this matchup. I know that's like crazy to say, and I'm not even playing that with my heart, but just looking at these two teams. And I mean, it's not like the Saints have been overperforming at all. So I think the Steelers defense with potentially TJ Watt being back could be a factor. What do you think?
TJ Watt or no TJ Watt, this is a team that's backed up against the wall, against a Saints team that hasn't been good against AFC North. Bengals beat them pretty good. Ravens short week too. Give me the Steelers plus 2.5. This was not a difficult pick. I think the Steelers went out right. I'll probably sprinkle a little on the money line as I think the Steelers went out right. I just, believe me, Andy Dalton, I'm very familiar with Andy Dalton. He was a Bengal for a long time, and I'm a, lifelong Bengal fan. So he's a guy that is good enough to win games, but not to win the big games. We saw that time and time again. This is a big game for them because if you look at it, I mean, they're right there at the top of their division. They got to get this win. You can't lose the Steelers, but they do this weekend.
Yeah, they haven't been great against the AFC North, and coming into Pittsburgh against a team, like you said, they're desperate for a win, and they had a bye week first off to make a lot of changes and get things going. And Mike Tomlin was alluding that there are some changes being made, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen. And I think that needed to happen to build morale as well with this team.
And then even if the Saints go back to Winston, that's no bonus. He's a turnover machine. So I like the Steelers, like you said, coming off a bye. I think it's a good spot for the Steelers.
All right, some other teams looking for more wins. The Cardinals at the Rams. Rams favorite at -3. Interesting. The total at 43.5. So tell me, what about this matchup intrigues you?
Rams are terrible. Rams are terrible. They're not good. I mean, they dominated the whole game against Tampa Bay. They need one stop. They can't get it. I mean, this team, their offensive line's bad. The defense that we've always known they could rely on, they really have not been able to rely on because they're on the field so much. Give me the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals have more upside. I know the Rams have owned them, but at some point, you have to beat good teams, and the Rams can't beat even average teams right now. Give me the Cardinals +3.
And if you have a struggling Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense come back on you, what do you think Kyler Murray is going to do? He's like a comeback machine.
Hopkins is back. Oh.
Yeah. So there's a lot to that one. So Cardinals +3 in that one. And then last but not least, Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my, Bears favorite at -3. Total 48.5. Justin Fields has been using his legs like a machine. He finally looks like he's sort of figured out who he is now. Marquee match of the year. And
that's Detroit Lennon.
He was lacking a lot of confidence earlier this season, saying he wasn't comfortable at one point. He wasn't sure who he was. And now I think he's finally identifying of himself, knowing he has to use his legs more. This Lions team can put up points. So what do you like?
Over. Lions team loves to pass the ball around. They sprinkle in the run. I mean, they are really good on offense. Last week, I thought they played good enough to win. They were like, hey, we're not going to – if we just don't turn the ball over, we're going to beat Green Bay. And that's what they did. You're not going to be able to play like that. This Bears offense is hitting on all cylinders. They're going to have to score. I think the Bears – I think it's 3 straight overs for the Bears. I think it goes 4 straight. Give me the over 48.5 and what we call the Detroit Lenny versus the Bears Bowl.
Detroit Lenny versus the Bears. I love it. I hope it is a high-scoring affair if that's the case, and I hope it keeps it close. So we'll see. I think that one will be fun. Thank you, Craig, so much for joining me today. That is our 5 NFL games in 5-ish minutes. NFL Rapid Fire. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our content, especially Picks and Parlays Power Hour being live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. It'd be great if I could talk today. Thanks so much, Craig.